What's going on, guys? This is Matt Marinoff, Real Estate Recovery Group. We're doing another 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time show as we're doing Monday through Friday to bring value and show people that there are still people out there that are working, hustling, trying to find out what the latest and the greatest is. And sharing is caring as always with all information. Today, hopefully I don't fuck up her name. Dawn Marie Pizzichillo.
Very nice. Well done. Most people do much worse.
Pizzichillo. Dawn's a real estate agent. And I actually met Dawn 2 years ago.
Yeah, doing a live.
That's right. 2 years ago, doing a live. We hit it off instantaneously. You could tell, and you're going to tell by this interview, she's got a lot of energy. She likes to joke around. She doesn't take life too serious. But well, obviously, when it comes time to helping people find properties and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to put Dawn's information up here because she actually has a saying where it's was it list by hold on list by Dawn.
No.
Wait, list
by dusk.
Yeah,
sold by dawn.
List by dusk, sold by dawn. That's a catchy one. Did you coin phrase that? Did you trademark it?
I would love to actually take credit for that, but I cannot. Previous to working in real estate, I was in banking. And one of my colleagues in banking, when she knew I was going for my license and everything, she goes, I have the perfect phrase for you. And she actually said it to me. And I said, oh my God, that's awesome. Can I use it? She said, yes. And I'm actually in the process right now of copywriting.
Good. You should.
Yeah.
You should say copywriting is pending.
It is pending.
Okay, that's good.
It is pending. You said it.
Dawn, they're like, hold up now.
You said it much more professionally.
They're gonna want to steal it. So it's funny. Following you on Facebook, you put a lot of inspirational stuff out there. I love, you're always cheery. You're always out there. I see you have photos with your dog. I'm a big bulldog fan.
My little Rocky.
That's cute. I'm just curious to see, what is it that you see out there that maybe other people aren't seeing out there as far as opportunities? We had actually talked about working with investors.
Yes.
How long have you had your real estate license now?
It's 7 years full time.
7 years. So before this, what was it?
What do you mean? I have my license for 7 years, and I started out full time right from the gate.
So what did you do prior to real estate that made you think, hey, you know what, I want to make the crossover, I want to get into real estate? I
was actually involved in banking, and I did have an NMLS ID number where we really didn't do too much with the mortgage end of it. As far as I was a sales consultant. Part of my history is I have always been involved in sales on some front. And I was working in the same manner for the bank, and I was pretty successful at meeting the goals, and I was pretty, determined. And again, with that energy, just putting it out there. And I was successful with gaining new clients. Mm-hmm. So when I saw, the market, and I had spoken to a few people, there was a local broker who kind of gave me my start. And he told me when he met me, he goes, you need to be in real estate. And he goes, you need to go get your license. You'd be pretty damn good at it. Mm-hmm. So you know what? I gave it some thought, and I said, he's right. I love people. There's so much joy most often involved in helping people achieve a goal, whether it is purchasing a new home or the need to sell, whether it's an estate sale, a bad marriage, or just people moving on. No matter what, there's always some feeling of completion when you're able to help people take their next step on their journey in life. So, real estate to me was just something that I had always been interested in. And once I had that push, once somebody said, he's been a broker for years, and he said, you really would be good at this. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And I did. So I'm very glad I did.
So we've talked over, a couple of times over the last 2 years. We stayed in touch with each other. So I've talked to you sometimes, and you be in a cheery mood, whatever, and you like a little distracted, and then I'm like, wait, I'm a little blown off. I'm a little taken off because You sound like you have something really off going on, not horrible or whatever, but you're in a good mood. You're always smiling.
You know what? Because your mood is infectious. If you're always miserable, that gets pawned off onto other people. They
Right.
feed off of your energy. So for me, I feel like when you set your mindset to a positive outlook, and it's not to say people don't go through moments in their life where their mindset is not positive, but you need to kind of retrace your way of thinking. You need to go back and you need to kind of reset your mind into, okay, well, if I keep thinking about the negative things that are happening, I'm just going to attract more negative. So it's better to push out the positive so that that positive is what comes back to you. I'm a big believer in faith. I do a lot of praying. So I believe that through any trial or tribulation we all go through in life, whether it be personal, business, financial, no matter what, when you implement your faith and you change your way of thinking about a situation, that situation changes.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, we've dived, deep, behind the scenes, and we've shared some.
Yeah.
Do you think the reason why you're such a good real estate agent and proficient at it because you care, or is it because you want money?
Because I want what?
Money.
Money. Well, everybody wants money. However, I think it's more important to be passionate about the work that you're doing, and the money will come. It's doing your due diligence, it's persevering through trials. Real estate needs to work like a well-oiled machine, basically. And in the real estate world, not every deal is perfect. Everybody posts on Facebook and Instagram and social media how closed, but nobody tells you all of the bumps in the road that they hit to get to
Right.
that thing. It's very stressful. And as an agent, sometimes you feel like you're the mediator, because you're working behind the scenes with the lenders, the title companies, the attorneys, the buyers or sellers, another agent. There are so many moving parts to a real estate transaction that it's not just a matter of, oh, they like the house, okay, we're closing. There's
Right.
so much meat and potatoes in the middle that people don't always realize. A real estate agent makes a lot of money. That's what they come out with. And you know what? A lot of times we stand to make a fortune. The issue is nobody really understands the stress level that goes behind those deals. But if you keep pushing through, you keep persevering, and you're on top of your transactions, you will successfully get to that closing table. Sometimes you won't, but those are usually things that are out of your control. Like a lender can't approve the buyer for whatever reason because they decided to go out and buy a new car in the middle of a transaction. There have been some crazy things that happen. But that being said, you have to have a passion for what you do.
There's a lot of people that probably share in your mindset. And obviously we're talking about mindset today. Your peers in the industry are so nervous and scared of what is really going to happen in the real estate industry, in the market. What would you offer as far as advice to somebody who might not have been around, the first time, in the crash? You've been in it for 7 years, but you were around it from the mortgage aspect of it. What would you say to somebody who's in the industry now that's, preparing to, pull up their boots and tighten their belt?
Well, here's my thing. What has your focus been during this pandemic? During this time of stay at home, we have an executive order to stay home. And there have been varied opinions on exactly what's deemed essential and not. We were deemed essential in certain circumstances.
Right.
Okay. I personally chose to stay home. I have family members who were afflicted by this virus. I do have an elderly mom, and not knowing enough about what's going on, I electively chose to stay home. But staying home does not mean staying stagnant. It means you continue your focus, you continue your work in your business. Obviously, transactions that I've been working on that are needing to come to close, there has still been much communication via virtual meetings. I mean, the virtual world has taken on a whole new meaning now with real estate. I mean, it was always coming up in real estate, but never really a primary focus as it's become now.
Right.
But in doing so, regardless of the transactions that I had, which I continued to stay up to date with and continue on a daily basis to interact with the attorneys and the buyers, the sellers. I mean, a lot of things cannot be completed. A lot of the township offices are closed. You cannot get COs in order to get the closing accomplished. Some townships are open, some townships are closed. It all depends on where you're selling a property.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my focus became, what can I do during this time to make me a better agent, to open myself up to more opportunities? So what did I do? I'm in the process of getting my New York State license, which I'm very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Being a native New Yorker, someone who transitioned over into New Jersey, skipping Staten Island completely.
You're not originally from North Carolina?
What?
You're not originally from North Carolina?
No, I know that accent throws people sometimes. They think I'm from North Carolina. But, so I started doing that. Like, I took that course very seriously. I started reaching out to my sphere. People don't realize your sphere of influence is very, very important.
Right.
What about all of those former clients that are going through this pandemic? How about reaching out to them, seeing how they are? Not necessarily making it about real estate, but in the same breath, reach out to them. Say, hey, how are you through this? How's everything going? You might want to give it a thought. Sometimes just putting your presence in front of them, you are kind of connecting them again to what purpose you served in their life. And they may be struggling right now through bills. A lot of people do not have the income that's coming through. You know what? Why don't you consider refinancing your property? The mortgage rates are super low. We're at some rates are like 3.75% right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unprecedented. It's a very low rate. So if someone who's paying a 5 or a 4.5 right now on a mortgage, they could save a significant amount of money monthly by refinancing their property. But maybe they're not thinking along those lines. So that's where you step in. I mean, just touching base with them. Hey, you purchased a house like 3 years ago from me. Just calling to check up, see if you guys are still enjoying where you're living, if there's anything I can do to be of service. Things like that. Stay connected. Now is a time to stay connected.
It's funny you say that, because you strike me the type of person that, once you help somebody, and it's not necessarily like, oh, I sold a house. You sold a home. This is where a family is going to live. They're going to reside, whether it's going to be short term, whether it's going to be long term. And I understand the psychological side of that in working with homeowners from the exit side, from the distress side. So do you keep in contact with people that you've helped in the past?
100%. The majority of my clients have become my friends. And it's so funny because I see them at parties. They invite me to barbecues. I mean, it's just, I've maintained that connection. And I've also always given them that open door policy. No matter what you're struggling with, call me up. I'll try and help you. Whether it's regarding your home, if it's financial, if it's personal, I leave that door open. And a lot of my clients have reached out to me. Hey, I just moved here. Do you know of a mechanic? I mean, I'm able to share my network of people with them so that they, in turn, moving to a new place. And a lot of my clients are like transplants from New York. A lot of people are moving over into New Jersey because overall, number one, you get more bang for your buck. Number two, you might be paying taxes, but in the New York school system, you're going to be paying an extravagant amount of money to send your kids to a private school, because once they get up in years, the New York school systems are not really as functional as you'd like them to be for the children. It's kind of overcrowded and just really not in a healthy way. There's too many kids. They're not getting that focus. The New Jersey school systems, where our taxes go towards, are stronger. We have a much higher rate of graduation from high school than even New York has. Those are things that people take into consideration. So when they come out to New Jersey, they need network. They need contacts. They need people to get a great, cut of meat from, because not everybody wants to buy their meat in ShopRite. You have people that are questioning, do you know a mechanic? Do you know an attorney? So I'm more than happy to offer that information to them.
Yeah, it's amazing. I have so many people that are reaching out to me that would love to come on and talk about relatable issues. I've had people come on and, want to talk about like their jewelry and stuff like that. I don't think this is the type of environment. This type of environment that I have right now, this culture that I'm offering, is education more or less in the real estate community, showing other people that there are people panicking right now because of what is going on with COVID-19. I have to tell you, we are busy. Um, the transactions have slowed as far as closing because of, the courts and the county, houses and stuff like that. But we are still going to the closing table. People are purchasing real estate. And I think that this is really a time where anybody who's in real estate or really any business should think about some type of either, I don't want to say a side hustle, but they really need to figure out, do they want to really learn their craft and be the best, be a leader in the industry like myself? And I'm owning it now, whereas before, when all this stuff started going, I mean, homeowners that we had helped, homeowners that we're working with, real estate agents that we've helped, worked in the past, attorneys, title companies, what's up? And I said, would it help if I just went on Facebook Live and actually talked about it, but also did like an integration, almost like like a talk show? And they're like, that's fucking awesome. That's you. You like being in front of the camera, you like joking around. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So the show isn't exactly PG, obviously, because I dropped the F bombs or whatever. But this is who I am. I'm real. I'm relatable. Last night, I probably got, no joke, about 16 instant messages from people that have friended me on social media and really want to get my take of what's going on. I'm like, listen, start watching my videos. Start watching the older videos that I've left up there. Like, kind of like it's like Netflix where you watch a season one.
Binge watch.
Yeah, you go from the latest to the greatest. So tomorrow night is actually going to be my first show at night, and that's going to be our special. But we're actually going to be doing 2 night live shows at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's going to be Leah Chambers, my assistant, my right-hand person, and we're going to be talking about some really hard topics, and we're also going to be bringing on some guests. So I'd love for you to, obviously come back, on the night show, and we could talk a little bit about that.
I would love to.
You can give us your input, as far as, the mortgage side of it. But people have no idea, truly no idea, how different the real estate market is really going to become.
Yeah.
Now, with the social distancing, what are you doing right now for yourself, for your company, to stand out over other real estate agents?
Basically, for me, what I'm doing is, again, you have to take this to a whole different direction. Virtual meetings, virtual conversations are very important. I think it's okay to talk over a phone, but people need to relate with human interaction. That's why live streams like this are really good, because you're putting a face together with the voice. And sometimes you need to see in somebody's eyes their sincerity, their level of dedication to you. You can't always come across with that on the phone. So for me, I've had some video chats with some clients, just where we could one-on-one have a discussion as if we were sitting across the table from one another. Right. Making use of the virtual world, which is very important. I do have clients right now that need to look to purchase a property. So right. I will now be starting to go out. There are measures that we're going to take, obviously with the proper PPE. We're going to have our masks and our gloves, and we're going to go, but there are ways around it. We're going to keep our distance. I will go open the door. I will let them in. Once they enter, I will stand back. They will go through and they will do their search, come out, and then we part ways, and everything else can be done via, whether it be telephone or like a FaceTime or Zoom call. I think the world of real estate is going to be making much more effective use of technology, more so than it ever has. I mean, we all know about virtual tours, and we all know about like different circumstances that realtors use, videos and whatnot. But I think now given this new normal that we're going to be facing, because things will go back to normal. They're just going to be different from what we are accustomed to.
Right.
And I feel like just like in any industry, you have to be able to go with that change. You have to be able to adapt to those differences and those changes.
Mhm.
And I do believe that going into real estate in the new normal is going to take on a whole different meaning for others. I mean, I've even done virtual showings where I have one of my clients, who's also my cousin, she is looking to move from Las Vegas back into New Jersey.
Why?
Well, there's a big difference as to why. You kind of would get the feel if you lived there. I'm not talking about the state of Nevada. I'm talking about Vegas. So there's a lot of pros and
No,
cons.
I got you.
So
She sprained her ankle. She can't work anymore. Say no more.
no, but here's the situation. So in doing so, in her looking to move back this way, we've done some virtual showings where I've gone to the property, and through FaceTime, she's been able to take a tour of the property. I think that's going to become more of a norm.
It's fucking genius.
It is, because I'm opening the closet doors. You could see what the insides of everything look like. We have to see the world through different eyes now. And that's what it is. Again, it's all back to adaptation. You have to be able to adapt to the changing surroundings.
Mhm.
And I think real estate is really going to explode once this pandemic comes, to a more level place, I would say. But in that sense, you're going to see right now people are kind of iffy with the listings. They're coming on the market, but very slow, very low. And believe it or not, now's actually a really good time to search, because that market, when it explodes, we were dealing with a lack of inventory for a while.
Right.
Sending people listings that were either as is condition, you need to obtain all the permits for yourself. And people were struggling with that idea if they didn't really have enough financially to go into a house, purchase it, and then renovate.
Right.
So with that, we're going to see an explosion in the inventory. I believe people more than ever now, because the spring market never happened.
Right.
We were stunted. This stunted the spring market. So we're going to see late bloomers now come out in June, July, popping those homes on the market. And you're going to have a lot of inventory for your clients. So it's imperative that during this time, you stay in touch with those people that were looking, that you reach out to others that were looking to possibly sell, or maybe they weren't thinking of selling, but now because of what's going on, they are. And I think it's important that you maintain those lines of communication.
I agree 100%. Everything that you're saying. Look, I think in the end, I think people need to realize that there are limitations in every aspect of life. And I think that if it's possible to make things easier through any type of social reference, if I was a real estate agent, and people ask me all the time, why do you become a real estate agent? To me, that's not exciting. What I do is exciting. There's never a day I get up and go, oh, I don't want to go to work. I love what I do. I've built.
You're in the business of rescuing people.
What's that?
You're in the business of rescuing people. I mean, in the line of work that you do, you're saving someone's credit. And we know today credit is everything. You're helping them when you're dealing with these short sales. And by the way, he didn't ask me to do this, but I'm going to. Anyone out there who is in need of short selling their property, there is no one better than Matt Marinoff. And I am it's the truth. The man knows his business. He gets things done. And anyone who's ever been involved with any short sale on any level would know that negotiating with the banks, it's complicated. And if you don't have a solid knowledge of how to deal in a short sale transaction, you can greatly do injustices to your clients. And Matt takes care of that. He takes the guesswork out. And that's what's very important about his job and what he does. And Matt also saves your clients where they may be, I'm sure everybody knows that it's getting the bank to agree to accept a price lower than what they owe, but within a specific range. And in doing so, it enables you to kind of save your credit, spare the whole foreclosure process, and maintain some dignity and have the ability within a couple of years to actually purchase again, which I think is phenomenal.
Right. Well, they actually have programs where you can actually purchase right away, but obviously you have to put a lot of money down. Now, are those programs still around based on what's going on right now? I don't know. Probably not. I'm not a mortgage guy, so I don't know. But I am going to be putting panels together. I'd love for you to be on one of the panels where, I'm going to bring a mortgage guy on. I'm going to bring various different people on from different, realm that might not have normally worked before with each other, and get like different, opinions from different markets. Might not just be Jersey, might be all over the United States, which is great because I'm getting instant messaging from people from other parts of the country say, "Hey, Matt, caught it off of a like or a share. Love to talk to you. I have a topic I'd love to talk about and come on." So, this is all about sharing and caring. Like, I don't make a referral if somebody uses you as a real estate agent. My own wife is a real estate agent.
Right.
And she sees what I'm doing and she loves me for it because, I'm helping people. And I have to say it. And if people think I joke when I say it, but honestly, it really is people before profit. And that's important. That is so important that people understand that, because there are people out there that are sheeps in wool clothing or wool clothing.
100%. In this industry, especially.
Yeah, it could really be a horrific situation. I've heard of many. I'm actually taking over an expired short sale. One of my students who actually posted his video online, which he literally, he really got to me. I said to my wife, "This is what it's all about." I didn't even know he was going to post it the way he did. And basically, he reached out to an expired listing, and the agent, apparently the first agent wasn't doing their job. She explained the situation. The agent actually told the homeowner, "Stop paying your mortgage," which is ludicrous in itself.
I know and I've heard of agents that have encouraged people to do that, and it sets them up in such a bad way. It really does.
So the fact that the agent did that, she's following somebody. She's following somebody who was claiming to quote unquote be, an expert. If you're an expert, you don't ever tell somebody to do something like that.
Exactly.
They had the money to pay it. Now, because of the situation and they're so far behind, they can't catch up.
Yeah.
But they need to move anyway, regardless. Job loss, the whole nine. But
Yeah.
the thing that really upset me, and I think I started telling you the story yesterday, we got cut off. They listed the property at such a high price. Nothing came through for 6 months. And I asked, was that a stall tactic on your behalf? And she said, no, it wasn't. I just went off whatever the evaluation. She didn't even know the name of the thing. She was like the MAC or whatever. I said CMA, which is okay. And then she put it in her hands. Well, 6 months later, never a price reduction. There was nothing. And she ended up essentially getting somebody who was putting an offer that was rejected by the bank on an offer that was approximately $148,000 less than she listed the property. So it's kind of like,
yeah, it's insane. And what's sad is, as people that are expected to be professionals, you have to be professional enough to know that if you don't know enough about something, you refer it out to someone who does. Because again, the main goal is to service your clients properly. And what you do has to add value to someone, to their circumstance, to their situation. And if you're not adding value, then what are you doing? You're taking value. You need to honestly be honest with yourself. And that's a problem too. A lot of people have the fake it till you'll make it mentality. But unfortunately, what happens with that is someone is going to be hurt by it. And it's usually your clients. You can't fake anything. Like, I know agents, and it's not to call anything out, but a lot of people use the IDX and they post for sale, for sale, for sale, without ever mentioning it's not their listing. So you have other people sitting going, wow, this agent is so successful. Look at all those listings. But if you took the moment to click on the listing or look at it on the MLS, the listing agent is somebody completely different. You have agents misleading people by posting closed, 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 closed. Well, go back and look at when those properties were closed. They were closed a year ago. They were closed 8 months ago. But they wait to post until they have 10 at a time. So it looks like I had 10 closings this month. To me, I think transparency is very important. And I think you have to be, like you said, you are very true to who you are. You. You are true to who you are. And I think that comes across. And you have to be genuine with your clients. You have to be honest and upfront. And I'll be the first one. If I don't have an answer to a question, I will tell somebody, I really don't know that, but I will get back to you with an answer. And I will go to either someone who does know better, or I will research it myself to get the appropriate answer. I will never just answer off the top of my head. In doing so, I could be damaging them.
So I'm going to do one better than that. So the agent calls me on that property we just talked about. Mm-hmm. He says, Matt, he goes, it's been a while. I really didn't do anything with the class, but, I saw an opportunity and I think I'd give it a shot. I got a phone call back from that homeowner. He said, you had mentioned in the class, put me in the hot seat. And what I mean by put me in the hot seat is I tell people, work smarter, not harder. Put me to work. Let me help you obtain a client, and let's put the people before the profit and show the value so they're going to want to work with you.
Exactly.
This whole thing transpired over the course of 24 hours, where it's 3 phone calls, and I asked her to Google me. And she laughed and said, am I going to find anything inappropriate?
Any hidden tapes?
And I said, we're definitely going to hit it off, number one. But no, the purpose was that I wanted the homeowner and her husband to see I don't have anything negative against me. There's nothing that would indicate any type of red flags. So I say to people all the time, like, if you can do business with somebody, Google them. Find out what's going on. And everybody's entitled to a second chance. But ask them, what happened? Why did this happen? What happened with that? Why did you, it looks like there was a major lawsuit. That shows that you're actually taking control of your situation. People I'm going to say this, I'll get upset. People that are in bad situations, that are so down on themselves, they bury their head in the sand, and they're almost like low-hanging fruit. It's so easy to get to somebody who's in distress and take advantage of them.
Exactly.
I don't have, for me, like, look, my mother-in-law lost their house. My father-in-law, my wife was in college. And my wife was 17 years old. She was young when she went to college. She was just 17. And her and a twin brother. And she gets a call at 2:30 in the morning. Your dog is dead. Your father and I are going to get a divorce. And you need to come home before next Friday, which was finals for her, and basically pick up your belongings. Otherwise, it's going to get thrown in a dumpster. So she doesn't really have any of her childhood memories from when she was a child. Now, I don't really have a lot of stuff from when I was a child, but I guess it's heartbreaking as a child to be ripped from your personal possessions.
Of course.
Your canopy bed, your favorite dolls,
yep.
your pictures from high school, all that's, it's gone. All the memories are gone. So, this is very close, dear to my heart. Now, fast forward 25 years later, I'm in my office. My mother-in-law comes and says, Matt, I have a little bit of a problem. I'd like to talk to you about it. I'm going to be a 2-time loser. And I said, oh my God. I said, what's the matter? And she's like, I'm thinking she's going to get a divorce. She's like, I think that there's going to be an issue because I'm in one of those mortgages, which I didn't know, that my payment's going to go up about $500 something a month. And I'm panicked. So What's that?
Is it a balloon mortgage?
Yeah, it was the Negam mortgage, and then it was going up. And
Yeah.
so, long story short, I took a deep breath because I'm like, oh my God, if they lose their property, they're moving into my house. I got to save this place. So, so basically, I did. She was current.
That's great. That's great.
She was current. She did not go late, and we were able to streamline her into locked-in rate and actually go principal interest insurance, which before it was just interest and insurance and taxes.
Yeah.
They wrote a check for $16 and I think 38 cents at closing. Their mortgage payment went up $64 a month. I saved a day. Now, let's fast forward another, I don't know, 9 years, and my father-in-law, he's in a nursing home,
Okay.
and she wasn't feeling good, so she had to come up here to get better. And I don't feel like I got roped into it, but I got my mom living here. I got my mother-in-law living in the house. I got 2 kids, my wife, and 3 dogs. My wife's like, "Why do you spend so much time in your office?" I don't know.
And listen, I heard your dogs in the background. They're trying to chime into this meeting here.
Yeah, they want to come in. They want to come in. People ask me all the time, "What kind of dogs you got?" Maybe I'll put them on the show one day. But
Oh my God.
look, it's all about helping other individuals and making them understand what their options are. Because some people might not have to sell their property, but
Yeah.
agents don't understand that, and that's why I'm glad.
No, but that's because agents are putting the profits before the people.
True.
In a lot of times, because when you see somebody falling on a hard time, you should see it from the human standpoint, but a lot of people see it from the greenback standpoint.
Right.
So they're looking at cashing in on a person's misfortune. But in reality, as an agent and as a representative, what are we doing? We're selling ourselves to people. We are selling our services. We are selling our ability to help them. And in helping them, we're not selling our ability to take advantage of them, which we should not be selling, which a lot of people do in the industry. This industry is chock full of agents. Everybody's mother's, cousin's, brother's, sister's, uncle is an agent.
I know.
And honestly, the most important thing to really ask your agent, did I lose you? There you are. I lost you for a second. I don't know where you went. You're here now. What's important in this industry, as a client, as a prospective client, the most important thing for you to ask the person you're interviewing, your agent, are you full-time or part-time?
Right.
I have never been asked that question once. And, it's a big thing because a person who is focused solely 100% on the ability to assist you is going to be more effective. Yes, real estate's a great part-time gig for a lot of people.
Right.
But this is my bread and butter. So my dedication and my commitment is fully invested in helping you achieve your goal.
Right.
And that's one thing nobody ever asks.
Right.
Our value, the value that we add to, let's say, a potential buyer or a potential seller is more than anything else, time. Time. How many sellers have the time to sit down in their house and allow 36 people to walk through? How many sellers, when they're trying to sell by owner, have the skill it takes to negotiate, have the skill it takes to work in the negotiating, work on those inspection problems? You need someone to kind of go to bat for you on the seller end. And as a buyer, we give you time to focus on work and your family, and we send you what's actively available and what's in your price range without you having to surf the internet for hours upon hours upon hours trying to find things that don't always fall into your criteria.
Right.
It's very important, and that takes time. And nobody realizes your biggest investment in the world is not money, it's time.
Right. The biggest commodity is time.
Yeah, it's the hottest commodity, 100%.
Yeah. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is, how to implement some of these strategies or some of the new strategies. So
Right.
what would you say to somebody right now who is, who's a real estate agent, new or old? What would you say to them as far as COVID-19? It's not going away anytime soon, unfortunately. So
You know, it's we had a Zoom meeting with my broker, who is a fabulous, fabulous businesswoman. She's very, very smart. And she's always very encouraging. So she keeps her agents very motivated and very focused as well. And what she said made a lot of sense. You stay in touch with your people. If COVID-19 doesn't mean shelter in place and disconnect from everyone, it means this now more than ever is a time to stay connected. Stay connected to your colleagues, stay connected to your lenders, find out what's going on in the mortgage business as this pandemic is transpiring and as things are going through.
Yep.
Get in touch with your sphere. Get in touch with people you may have had prior conversations with prior to this who were looking to sell and maybe we're on the fence now. Tell them, hey, listen, you know what? You might not be ready this moment, but let's get started on the paperwork. Let's get you guys started on getting your business up and running so that when this ends, we could just put you out there and get your house listed as one of the first homes coming out on the market. There are multiple ways that you can strategically build and prepare yourself, because I do believe that this market's going to explode once this ends. I really, really do. I mean, this is my opinion and my foresight, but I think it's the opinion of many serious real estate agents, because you kind of can't panic. Like, a lot of people went into panic mode, and it's understandable, but if you put yourself into a panic situation, your logical thinking goes out the window. Your ability to focus on, okay, well, this is happening now, but how can I make the most of it? And that's why I said, look, we have to take continuing education classes. No time like the present, you're home. Get that out of the way. So then when your next time is up, your classes are done. And
Right.
you're not taking time away from business to get them done because you have the time now. Many
Yep.
online courses. Listen to some coaches. Sit back and listen to some people who have been successful at this game for years, who have made their millions, and sit back and take it in, absorb, take notes, grow. Take the time to pinpoint your weaknesses in business. I've done that myself. Nobody wants to look at their weaknesses, but we all have them. And in this industry, you have to see, where are your strengths? Emphasize those strengths. Jot them down. Put down what you feel your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. Keep working on those strengths, but at the same time, build your weaknesses.
Yep.
Look, it is what it is. This is what you have to do. You have to stay on top of your game. No matter what's going on in the world around you, you have to remain focused.
One thing that I am getting, and I just stopped printing the emails, and I kept one of them. People are concerned or confused with the forbearance versus, the deferment.
Oh,
So I'm going
that's been a big thing.
Well, I'm going to show this now so people can see it. So this is this is a forbearance. So see, it says first payment, second payment, balloon payment, and it talks about, April, May, June, 00, and then the balloon payment is $7,072.
People
So,
don't realize that they have to come up with that money at the end of that 90-day period.
and what's happening on the bank side is third and fourth quarter, they are getting heavily fined, because what's happening is the bank reps are not telling the homeowner the correct information. So this is what I'm telling people that are going to possibly call in their bank. And this is really super important. So I don't know if you're a homeowner, an investor, a realtor. If you don't listen to anything else in this whole thing, listen to this. This is it. Is that when you call your bank, you want to make sure the call is recorded. Some of the institutions have press 1 now for the call to be recorded, press 2 for the call not to be recorded. You want the call to be recorded. And the main reason is you don't know what you're calling in about. So you want the call to be basically as a point of reference, almost like Exhibit A. So when you're calling in, you're asking them very simple questions.
Yeah.
And you don't have to write this down now because I want to leave this up, or you could listen to it at a later date. But basically, at 45 minutes in and 21 seconds, here's my cookie for the day. Make sure you get the name of the representative that you speak with. Make sure you get their ID number. Make sure you get what office that they're working out of. Make sure, if you can, get other important information, a direct number into maybe their department. If I can't get a hold of you, is there somebody who covers your desk? Do you have a floor supervisor? Who is your manager? Stuff like that. And the reason why this is important, because at a later date, you're going to call back in, and the information most probably will not be the same information, and you're going to get flabbergasted.
It almost definitely won't be the same information.
Much like this information that I just shared with you, that was a homeowner that was told they were going to get 6-month deferment on their mortgage. That's not a deferment. That's not 6 months. And they're panicked. Now, can you use your forbearance to your advantage? Yes. Let's say you're in a commission-based business. Let's say you're going back to work in 3 months. If you don't call in and talk about what's really called is the disaster forbearance, big difference between the forbearance and a disaster forbearance, and you're asking to find out about the COVID-19 forbearance or deferment. Because, guys, if you don't say that,
exactly,
they're reporting it to your credit bureau that you're late. There's a lot of things they're not talking about. Auto loans. Auto loans are doing deferment. Matt, that's amazing. Is it though? Because they're not extending your lease.
Exactly. So you have to come up with that money. And that's what people are having a hard time understanding. People have a total misunderstanding of what a forbearance is in that sense. People are literally thinking it's going to add to the back of their mortgage. It is not.
So
they should have done that. Actually, what they should have done, if they would have done it right, not that I'm a politician, but if you really wanted to help the people, they should have really taken those couple of months and tacked it onto the back end. So they'd still be making their money. However, you're giving people a break. This way, they're not really giving people a break, but people are in such a frazzled state of mind that they're taking it thinking, okay, this is great. But they're not looking into it.
What they should have done based on what had happened with China, and again, I'm not a politician. I have no interest of running. It's not like I have no interest. I'm like, oh my God, Matt Merrill for president.
Matt Merrill for president.
No, I have no issue. I have no interest in doing it. What they should have done is they should have taken this more seriously, and they should have said across the board, credit card, auto, mortgages, not your insurance, not your credit cards, and put some type of stimulus in place for homeowners and do a real deferment across the board for at least 3 months. That's what they should have did. That is not what they did. Now, I want to back up. I want to scroll back the mental calendar to 2008. In 2008, they did Band-Aid modifications. Guys, what's going on right now is similar to 2008 as far as the Band-Aids. And I think people really need to understand and wake the fuck up of really what's going to happen in the overrun. People that have already had modifications thinking like you're calling in, they're saying, oh, we'll do a forbearance, we'll do a deferment. Don't worry, we can do a modification. What if that homeowner's already had a modification before? The reps that are answering the phone, they don't have the back office information. They don't have what's called platform notes to actually look in to reference back. You're talking to somebody totally new. So you might have dated somebody named Sandy or John, but now you're talking to Karen and Bob. And Karen and Bob have no idea what the hell Sandy and John did. Do you understand how different but similar this is going to be to 2008? Rant over.
That's the thing. And, I'm going to go with a scripture because I base a lot of what I do on scripture. There is a scripture, and taken in context, it says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." That is a huge verse to pay attention to. It goes that way with anything in life. If you don't take the time to educate yourself on the decisions that you're making, and you're making decisions on a whim or based off of emotion, in some way, it's going to have a definite negative effect on your circumstances. And people don't realize that. They don't take the time. They listen. And I hate to bring it up, but it's the same thing going on in today's media. People don't worry about getting the knowledge based off of what they're hearing on the news. They just go on a tangent off of what a news reporter is saying.
Mm-hmm.
You have to research for yourself. Stop taking people for what they're saying, because you could be speaking to someone who has no clue what they're saying and making up their own information based off of their own viewpoints and opinions. Facts are what matter, and you need to know the facts. And again, it goes back to even dealing with short sales, Matt. Again, so many agents take on that task without the knowledge behind it. And when they do that, again, doing a disservice to their clients, harming them, not helping them. And at the end of the day, our goal is to help them. So my, advice would be, if you're dealing with short sale clients, you need to be sure you have the knowledge, or refer that out to someone like Matt, who has the knowledge and can get the deal done effectively without causing harm to your clients. I've worked with
Hold on, I'm gonna stop right here.
Say it again.
Hold on, let me stop right here. What I think you should do, and I want to do you solid. I'm gonna have my marketing guy, my team, Tommy, break it down. He's gonna break it down. What is that?
What?
You want to hear that noise?
Oh, that's what this is what you have to deal with when you're doing virtual meetings. They are currently cutting the grass outside.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Throw a water bottle at him.
They went good this far.
Tell them to hold up. No, so I'm gonna take this video. I'm gonna have this video sent to you. So this video will be sent to you, and I'll have it broken up and put it into an audio, in a WAV file. So you can actually share this with other agents that you work with, and or once you actually talk with somebody who's in distress, send them it, because they'll either hear it or look. This is a great marketing tool. This is an amazing marketing tool for people to really understand and work with leaders that are in this industry that really know what they're doing. So I'm happy that you took the time, honestly, Dawn, to come on today and share your viewpoint. I really do.
I'm grateful that you had me. I really am. There's nothing I love more than having an intellectual conversation with someone in the industry who knows what the market is going to be confronting, knows what the market has had going on in the past. I mean, again, there's just not enough commitment. There's not enough dedication to finding out facts. People go off of hearsay. And Matt, sadly to say, I've worked with agents in the past who have told people to not pay their mortgage, and they don't realize the damage they're causing. And people, it's like the blind leading the blind. You have someone who really doesn't know what they're talking about, just spouting off, and you have the people just following, and it's sad. And I think my job as an agent is to educate my clients as well.
Right.
And that's a big part of it. Education's huge, and people need to know what they're getting involved with. They need to know what kind of a contract they're signing. They need to know that you're able to actually deliver on a product that you're claiming to have knowledge of. It's sad, because too many people get taken advantage of, and a lot of people are selfish. They're looking at their own pocket, and they're not looking at the welfare of another person. And what good is that? Because as a brotherhood of humankind, a brotherhood and a sisterhood, I want to be politically correct. Our goal is to uplift one another, encourage one another, teach one another, build one another. That's not the world we live in, sadly.
No, it's not. Everybody wants to rip everybody down and try to step on them and get ahead. Listen, the show is up. We're done. But at the end of every show, as I do with all my guests, I ask them to try to do the finger point. So let me see what you got. Solid, kid. Solid. I love it. Guys, this is Matt Marinoff from Real Estate Recovery Group. Thank you so much for tuning in to the live stream show, RRG. My special guest today was Marie Pizzichillo.
Not piss, Pizzichillo.
Now it's Pizzichillo. She's a real estate agent. Obviously,
Thank you for having me.
you can. Her information is on the screen. You can reach out to her anytime you want. You can ask her questions if you want. Dawn, I appreciate you coming on, guys. Monday through Friday, we're doing these things at 12 p.m. Tell your friends, tell your mothers, talk to your dogs, tell them to be quiet, and tune in. Until next time, guys. Take care.
Bye,
Dawn,
guys.
don't go. Hold on one second, Dawn.